What is And he just keeps pointing at Steve.
Oh, that's Steve.
The guard is visibly confused, and he's like, "Uh-huh. Yep. Is it safe?" You can see kind of over the crest of the hill that you guys are coming up, that you can see the trail of some smoke kind of coming up over the tops of the hills, from like a fire or a chimney or something. You can hear the sound a little bit of some like conversation, like the dull conversation of like a crowd kind of over over a distance. And as you kind of crest up the hill, you can see that the town sits very low, down by the lake. It's a very small village. You can see people moving, and kind of milling about and doing what's probably daily chores. There's some palisades that kind of just drape the outer portion of the town. Um, One like kind of guard shack that sits up above the palisades that you can see somebody sitting in, um, but nothing more than that in terms of defenses. And Gad just kind of takes off towards town.
I guess we should go after him.
Yeah, I'll try to follow him as best I can.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll follow up behind you with the crew.
Roland is gonna spur Max up to like a trot, but not. He's gonna hang back a little bit just to keep him in eye shot.
As he starts running, Steve gets excited and starts chasing him. And you can see that the guard that is in the tower is visibly panicked.
I'll try to like step in front of Steve to try to make him stop.
He kind of like skids like to a halt and then like starts like trying to move around you.
Hold on there, dear, and I'll try to like distract him with food.
Very easily distracted by food. And as he stops, like the guard kind of like finally gets to like his horn that he's been trying to fumble for, and like you can see him like lift it up, and like he like kind of squints as he's like looking towards you guys, and is just like waiting for a moment to see what happens.
Roland looks up at the guard and he sees the hard time he has with the horn, and then looking down and then not making a decision. And he looks over at Emmerin and Orlo, and he goes, "Oh, good, an elite core."
Yep. Emmerin will smile a little bit and be like, "Holy man's got some jokes at least."
Oh, I wouldn't say holy. We've all got our holes, Emmerin. And then Roland's gonna spur the horse and keep going in after Gad.
Orlo pauses and just like looks down and starts patting himself because you said we all have holes.
Emmerin's still gonna do like with a hand on his head, like, did he just? What's it? Ah, fuck.
And now that I have distracted Steve, I'll like continue walking, but at a slower pace to try to get Steve to stay in line with me.
Begrudgingly, he slows down, and especially now that Gad's kind of like out of reach of him, he's much less excited by it, and just kind of like wanders, like I said, begrudgingly up to the gate or lack thereof, where the guard is kind of very still panicking, like, just sitting up there, like looking at you, looking at this giant fucking owlbear. Roland, as you kind of pass through the grate, he doesn't stop you or say anything for that matter.
Can we
Because
all catch a beat of this? That like this guy's just like losing his shit in the tower, and not quite.
yeah,
keeping it together?
you can tell that he has no fucking clue what is going on right now.
Aren't they?
Prior to him as we're walking underneath, just like, it's all right. We come in peace. We're not bandits or raiders or anything of the sort.
Oh, that's good. I'm good to hear that. Thanks. What is And he just keeps pointing at Steve.
Oh, that's Steve.
The guard is visibly confused, and he's like, yep. Is it safe?
Aye.
Emmerin, you said that with a lot of confidence.
Well, he hasn't bit me.
I mean, he hasn't bit any of us, but
That's because he's a good boy, isn't he? And he reaches down, like, scratches him under the chin.
He snaps at you.
Oh, he's a good boy. He's just trying to play, isn't he? What? Emmerin's growing very fond of Steve, okay?
So as you guys kind of enter the town, like I said, it's very small, especially for what you guys have been to recently. There's maybe only about 50 people that you can see visibly walking around, actively, like doing work or things like that.
What kind of day are we looking at? Like, what's the weather like?
It's relatively cloudy, pretty overcast. It's still been raining quite a bit, but right now the rain is kind of held off. The sun's starting to shine through just a little bit, but it's still kind of like dark and dreary.
And what are, like you said, people are running around working. Is there like a central work? You know, is it a farming town? Is it
Largely, most people are down close to the river, or the lake. It looks like potentially, from just what you can see, maybe fishing or something water related, something that they're pulling out of the water.
And where's Gad?
He would still be kind of running through the middle of town. Sir Roland would have a pretty good beat on him since he followed him in. You guys would probably have to look to him to find where Gad is. But he's heading off towards down through the middle of town and then out towards where it looks like a lot of the homes are located.
Roland is gonna stop up short a little bit and kind of find that he's in a middle ground between the party and Gad. He's gonna look back at the party and kind of wave him on.
He
Orlo
excitedly follows.
Orlo follows over to where Roland is.
I'm gonna be trying to keep up with Steve, trying to make sure he doesn't like hurt anybody.
The guard is still sitting up in this like kind of elevated position, just like staring at this fucking owlbear. Just nothing. Just like no idea what to do.
As the party catches up, Roland's going to say, I hope there are some skilled builders in this town, because with guards like that, it must get burned down pretty regularly.
What's a skittle builder?
What?
A skittle builder. What's a skittle builder?
A skilled builder.
Ah,
What's a builder?
not much. What's a builder with you?
That's not funny at all.
No, it's not.
So as the party catches up, you'd still have a pretty good beat on Gad, and like I said, he's heading over towards the residential side of the town, and you see him kind of finally like run up to a house, and he kind of like stops for a second, and like you see him kind of like collect himself, and he's like pauses and takes a breath and kind of like brushes himself off and reaches up to knock on the door, and it stops and just puts his hand down and just stands there for a minute.
Yeah, right, God.
Oh no.
And he just like turns back towards you as you say his name, and he's like, everything's good. Yeah.
It's better to know.
You're going to have to do it, Gad. You'll hate yourself if you don't.
You might help yourself if you do, but it's got to be done.
He just kind of just nods knowingly and turns back towards the door, and he waits for a minute. Nothing happens. He reaches up again and pounds on the door. No answer. And he just reaches down and like opens the door, and door swings open, and he kind of looks around, and you guys are close enough to see, and the house is just completely empty.
Roland gets down off of Max and kind of comes up behind him and puts a hand on his shoulder.
Emmerin steals Max. Just kidding. Not yet.
Not yet.
Orlo just walks past and walks into the house and is like, hey, look, it looks ready to move in. I'll set up for you. You know, you got a house here. Hometown. It's all yours.
And there's a guard that just happens to be wandering by, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? That's not your home.
I think it might be his.
And he's
fucking point thing in the street.
And Gad turns and kind of looks at the guy, and the guard kind of pauses for a second, and he goes, and he like kind of takes taken aback, and he's like, Gad? And Gad just kind of like nods his head, and he's like, just kind of like gives a very like shy wave. Hi. Do you know what happened? And he's like, no, they left and never came back. And Gad just goes, oh, okay.
Do you know, sir, excuse me, do you know where they went?
Or how long ago?
It's been years now. I don't.
Years in the sense of like 4 or like 15? Can you give us a ballpark?
Maybe
A ballpark.
6. What's a ballpark?
What's a
Not much. What's a ballpark with you?
Damn it, BK.
The man's a comedic genius.
I'm so sorry. Skelly is over there just like getting into the moment, and I'm ruining it with horrible jokes.
While they're discussing this, Orlo overhears Laya mention like how long, and the guy says he doesn't know. I'm going to try and like scan the house for like a calendar or anything that would give away like a date.
The guard says probably about 6 years. It would be rough to tell. There's really nothing left in the house. I mean, just the stuff that's supposed to be there. Like the stuff that's built into the house, like the doors and things. There's no sign of anything. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Orlo, actually.
It's going. Oh, yeah. 19.
Nice.
So, as you kind of give the room a quick scan, you notice that, like, sticking out of one of the cabinets is just a piece of parchment that's kind of like shoved in. And you pull it out and you look at it, and it just says, "If you find this, we left for Braden."
Okay. Yeah, I just take the I just take the note out and I just kind of hold it up to Gad. I'm like, hey, I think this might be for you.
He kind of like looks at it and looks at you and just looks down at it again and just like takes it out of your hand, and he goes, thanks, and just like holds it. Like, just not even like he's gone. He is so just out of his mind, distraught, and he's just not even thinking. And then it kind of dawns on him after a moment, and he goes, and he finally opens up this letter, and he goes, they went to Braden. Okay.
How far is that?
Few days. It's northeast of here, roughly.
So are we taking him to Braden or
No,
what?
no. You can't. No, you have many more things to do than to take me around again. I can figure it out. I'm sure that I can get some things organized here. Do some work and get myself settled again, and then I'll head that way when I
At least
can.
you got a house to start in.
But won't that be dangerous for him to go by himself?
Gad. I came into Braden when I came here by ship, and when my business is concluded in this land, I would be happy to escort you back to that port if you desire some security on the road.
If you make your way back this way, I'll take you up on that. If not, it's really not a problem. I'll be okay.
I cannot give you a guarantee on time. I give you my word that if I pass through here again, I'll take you up there.
That's awfully kind. I appreciate it. All of you. I can't thank you enough for what you've done to me already. I wish I could. I wish there was anything that I could give you, but he kind of just like gestures around him and goes, not much right now.
That's all right. I think we're okay.
Roland hugs him.
And he just absolutely loses it.
That's all right. It's all right.
And then he kind of collects himself after a minute, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess you've got some things to do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Gad, are there any taverns?
Oh, yeah. So absolutely.
Which one is your favorite?
Well, there's only one, so that one. It's it's called the Hungry Bowl. It's it's not anything special, that's for sure, but it'll get the job done.
Well,
Well, at the very least, we could buy you a drink and maybe something to eat.
No. I'll be all right. I can take care of it. I'll be all right.
Well, look at it this way: we gotta go and buy something to drink and something to eat, and adding one more to the bill probably isn't gonna break the bank, as it will. Old Rolly here has got you.
That's very kind of you all. I appreciate it. Well then let me show you over there, I suppose.
So on the way over, as we're walking over, I shout out to Gad. I say, so what kind of job does this tavern have?
What kind of what does it have?
What kind of job does it have? You said it gets the job done. What kind of job does it have?
You don't have to answer that, Orlo. I think we need to practice thinking before we speak.
I just had a question.
Sure. Cheers. Yeah. It's a stupid one.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah, but she's not wrong now, is she?
The two are not mutually exclusive, Orlo.
I was.
You know what, Lai? I'm beginning to like him a little bit more.
Just, I won't ask any questions anymore. Jeez.
I believe what he's saying is that if you're looking for food and drink, it'll do.
It'll do what?
I'll tell you what, Orlo. You come with us, we'll show you.
I can get behind that. I learn better by seeing things, not so much a book learner.
And I'm sure they'll have plenty of spoons.
What a book is. Death. Let's go.
So Gad escorts you over. It's not very far of a walk. Like I said, this isn't a very large town in any capacity. It's a very big building closer to the center of where you guys came in. 2-story wooden long inn with a very big bar inside, because what do you do after a long day of fishing but sit down and get drunk? So as you guys come in, it's still a little earlier in the evening, so it's not quite as busy as it can get. But there's still quite a few people inside, just kind of drinking and eating and just carrying on some conversation. And there's a lot of space for you guys to sit, and Gad kind of just wanders over and sits up at the bar. And as you guys are getting ready to walk in, Steve kind of throws a fit that he has to sit outside.
Nobody's going to sit outside with Steve.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity.
I
Good.
don't think that letting him in is a very good idea. Max will raise a fuss if he wanders off.
Good enough for me. I'm ready for a drink.
Roland ties Max up a safe distance away from Steve, and he leans in. Yeah, he like leans in. He gives him a little kiss on the forehead. He says, "You keep an eye on that." He goes inside the bar.
I'll look at Steve and be like, "Now behave yourself," and then toss him some food.
Go ahead and make another animal handling check.
Why make her roll? It's gonna be 7.
Oh, here it is.
Wow.
Holy
21.
shit.
He snatches it out of the air and kind of fluffs himself up and throws a little bit of a fit, but then he goes, like, kind of just shakes his head and sits down and just kind of looks at you and like bites a couple of times and then like rubs you.
I am very happy with this, and basically skip inside.